This is Sunday. Welcome to all of you. I know normally I don't talk about these things because I've left Oxford. It's been a while, but I'm here to discuss something with a good friend of mine, Theo Sergiou. He's running for the Oxford Student Union as the Vice President of Equalities and Welfare. Welfare and Equal Opportunities. And we have him here joining us. So, Theo, you do a lot of things. You have a charity that you're working with, and you are in London Youth Parliament, and you're at the Oxford Union, and you're the head, and you're in the JCR. How do you find time to do this, and what motivated you to go down this path?
Firstly, Ale, you're a legend for having me on here, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Before we start, just to get that out of the water, Ali is an amazing guy, as all you guys know. That's why you come back. um, but genuinely, with me and my whole life story, I think some things have to give a lot of the time, and it's all about what we enjoy and finding that balance. For me, as a child, everyone was like to me, "Slow down, you're going to get burnt out." And at the time, I thought there was something educational what those people were saying, and I tried, and I was like, no, this is worse for my life. And you learn to a certain extent when you grow up that everyone enjoys a different balance of things, right? So sitting down and relaxing, like sunbathing, is the most anxiety. It gives you the most anxiety thing you can ever imagine. Yeah,
Wow.
100%. I love eating, and that's probably the time I'm the most relaxed in the normal sense. But if you want to see me proper relaxed, you give me a theatre, like put me acting or singing or creating some raps as we used to do back home in Tottenham. That's when you see me the most relaxed. So everyone's like, "Oh, how do you get time to do this? You must get tired." I was like, "If I didn't do it, I promise you'd see me so much more tired." And that's
Really?
after the lockdown. Yeah.
How wonderful! Wow, that's quite interesting. It's quite counterproductive, but it's almost perfect because that means you're always doing something, which is great. So, Theo, what's happening this week? What's this Oxford Students Union that I'm hearing about? I'm pretending not to know it because I want someone else to know it. But tell us about it. What's going on?
So, the Oxford Student Union is like every university, they have a union, a student union, who stand up for their voices and try to ensure rights. Some of the most famous people in student unions have been someone like Gordon Brown, who enshrined complete rights for their students up in Edinburgh. And I think at the moment in Oxford, there is a problem. Now, it's not a problem which is kind of you can see. There's two reasons for that. One, because they hide it. Two, because it's a very nuanced problem. Oxford can get away with a lot. It's not one policy which is bringing it down. It's constant incidents and a lack of accountability. I've been in so many situations myself. Two aspects have been massively played on since I've been here. First of all, the fact that I've come from a low socioeconomic background. I've
Yep.
had situations where, and I don't know even to articulate this, but where my parents have been assumed to be drug dealers by the college because, yeah, and then assumed to be dangerous people because of our location. That's it. And then when that got reviewed by an independent board, they were told it's an internal review. They were told, oh, the dean needs to apologise. No apology has happened. We're still waiting for that instance. And that's Oxford for you. Oxford will say, okay, even if you get independent staff members who a lot of the time do mean well, the seniors will never be held accountable because that lack of process is there. And on the disability front, we're talking complete shambles, not for me, but for many students, some of which will not get their diagnosis until after they leave Oxford. So, God forbid any sort of exam arrangements or any sort of adaptations to the work that needs to happen. That's not happening. And then on top of that, when you do have an SSP in place, specialist support plan like I do, it's a year and a half, and it was only in January for the first time I got accessible books before the deadline of an essay, right?
Right.
And so that's me who contacts every single week, and I promise you that's 100% draining. The burden is definitely on the disabled student, and there's been nights out where I've had to stay in and spend it emailing, not even doing work, just emailing people to get the work instead of having fun with my students. So that puts a mental health burden on all these vulnerable groups. So what is negligence, specifically negligence and a lack of accountability. I've come up with a massive manifesto, maybe too big for this election,
I
but
saw that.
I want to put an end to negligence, basically.
Right. That sounds horrible, Theo. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And it's good to hear different experiences of Oxford because because I came as a postgrad as a much older student than you are, and and I was at a different college. I was doing a different degree. My whole experience of Oxford is one lens, but it's always important for people to see all perspectives. And I'm so sorry to hear that this happened. How have you dealt with it so far without it, and how has the burden been on your mental health? Talk a bit more about that.
It's quite insane actually, because there was a period a lot of last year where I blamed myself.
Right.
I remember getting absolutely crazy in my room, thinking, I can't concentrate. It's my fault. I can't do the work in time. My reading ability is slow. And if I show you what I was doing, you have a small book like this, and I'm
Yep.
sitting there with a magnifying glass going like that, reading one word at a time, and I was
Yep.
blaming myself. And I remember calling my mum, and she'd be like, "Go on walks, see what you can do." And it wasn't until basically the June time where I was speaking to other disabled students, because obviously COVID had ended by then, and I realized, hang on, there's no way that all people with disabilities are naturally bad at reading, or they are just not good. I was like, hang on a bit, there's a systematic problem here. And
Right.
at that point, and I tell you now, it happened in a day, my mental health just went from really, in a way, kind of self-loathing, self-sad, to very angry and very passionate. And when you have that passion, what do? You hold it tight until it
Yep.
burns your hand, and then you use that to make sure that nobody will ever feel what you've been through. No one will ever feel that pain, not on
Right.
my watch.
Right.
And that's why I started my charity, literally a week after feeling that kind of relief from my mental health kind of struggles I went through for a year.
Yeah. Tell us about the charity.
So the charity is called Fighting for You, and
Yep.
it's exactly what it says on the tin. It deals with individual cases, and allows you, and it's only working at the University of Oxford at the moment, because
Yep.
I can reassure you the amount of work there is to do here is time consuming. But we allow people to come forward to us, starting with disabilities at the moment, just for capacity and the speciality of the lawyers. Um, and they can come to us, and we will help them, give them advice, as well as happy to have pro bono solicitor work of sending letters to the college in order to kind of looking at possible tribunal options, which has been taken in the past with us, in order to secure basically what is enshrined to them in the Education Act in life, and also under the 2010 Equality Act.
Yep.
Um, and you will be surprised on the kind of hostility I've got from this. A massive hostility. It was interesting because the first thing when I set it up, I got an email and it says, "I want to make you aware that this is not a student society." And I was right there, so they started the kind of animosity the moment I announced it on Facebook. I was like, someone on Facebook is a snake, firstly, but second of all, they got their backs up because of it. And since then, there has been few cases which we've lost, and that's been on a case of literally a lot of the time capacity and what we can do. But most of the cases now we are turning around and winning, and I'd like to extend that.
Yep.
With a university funded and committed funding, external institution where you can go to, and that has nothing to do with university, and it holds it account.
Perfect. So now let's pivot to what is happening this week. You're running this charity. You're facing these problems. You're a campaigner. You're a warrior. You're a defender. You've been fighting against them, and you've been vocal. And I love you for it. And now you are participating in the Oxford Students' Union as a vice presidential candidate.
Mm.
How did that happen? What are you hoping to achieve through that?
So it was it happened because a couple of weeks ago I was on a fine protest with my college, trying to get, because I had other people's fines on my names, because I was trying to say, look, we're not paying these fines.
Yep.
And it was this one email which says, do you know what? And it was the same time I see the advert, I'm gonna take a year out and stick to this fully. They called me elitist. They said to me, they said to me, it's ironic that you campaign against elitism when you yourself are the one who are complaining to staff, right, who offer their hours. That's why I'm like, okay, look, I understand we are all humans, and I'm happy to have discussions with you. But at the same time, you must be so negligent in your duties as a dean to not understand what elitism is, to kind of brand this at it and not recognize it when it's on your own kind of turf, on some of the accidents that you've done.
Right.
And at that point, and I was speaking to a good friend of mine. I can't say who, because they're also running, and you're not allowed to endorse other candidates, but you will see similar policies on manifestos. And I
Yep.
was like, there's something I want to do about this, and this is a time and place to do it. I saw it as like a critical conjuncture point. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, and also, I had a lot of other people come to me, not just people with disabilities. So the LGBT community, you have instances which are absolutely horrific of their pronouns being leaked to the whole college. And okay, where's the apology? There's not even an apology, let alone any kind of dealing with that, or any support after that, or like a promise that would never happen again, or any plans in the future. Like, I've had these groups come to me, and I've launched a massive consultation the week before I ran to make sure it's something I actually wanted to do. And now I'm here. We have voting opening on Monday. So if you are an Oxford University student, I beg, I beg. It opens on Monday at 8 a.m. And then it closes on Thursday at 6 p.m. So it's nice and accessible. You have quite a while to do it, and voting's online.
So I can vote as well. I don't have
If
to be
you're,
an Oxford. Well,
if you're an Oxford student, then yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you know I am. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be in person. So the great thing is, I'll ask you to send me the link, and I'll paste it on all the videos, wherever this platform is, and whoever sees this, they could just click on the link and go and just vote. Starting tomorrow, 8 a.m. UK time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern, where I am, and you can judge the rest of the world. And it goes on till Thursday. What time, Theo?
6 p.m. English time.
Oh, that's perfect. 6 p.m. English. So that's evening in South Asia and let's say China. So people there can still participate. So that would be wonderful. So Theo, we're just going to finish off in a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes just to make your pitch to the voters, because now they know who you are. Your name is in the description, your positions. They can click on it and see your profiles. They can Google you. They can follow you. So now that's a general picture. I want you to pitch yourself or tell the voters what they can expect or what they can hope for by voting for you. Take a minute or two and just flesh out what you want to represent. Floor is yours.
What I love to tell people when it comes to any election, take this advice at any election, is first of all, read the manifestos. And I hope that can convince you. So I have policies there which brand my character. But why me? Why do you want someone like me? I always say that you want someone who can trust. You want someone by the end of their term, you want to know that they haven't wasted it. They haven't spent a day where they're not fighting for you.
Yep.
Right? And I tried to demonstrate in my previous life for just the passion that I was being, because my story, my backstory is that I was in school and very excluded from school for sometimes my own behavior. I'm going to be real with you guys. I've had a massive journey and a massive change in character, but I've understood what it's been like to be judged and be on the outside and stuff like that, and I've had to fight. And that energy has led me advocating for others on a national scale, leading campaigns, which, for example, the U-turn in London, which got young Londoners free travel for under 18s again after it was taken away by the government.
Yep.
Working with Marcus Rashford to give free school meals.
Yep.
Within schools. Going on to climate initiatives, but most personal one where I started was on knife crime, where seeing my friends on the street go through a lot of different experiences and standing up and being like, okay, I understand these people more than the government do. They don't know them, and doing work there. And that was from a very young age. Since then, I've completely tried to transform my way of doing it through negotiation and kind of pressure points and understanding how to really campaign. But I want to prove to you guys that you can trust me. I'm not going to be someone who goes to a meeting and says, this is really inspiring, guys. Lovely to be here. Yeah. And then here's my points. Well, I think that's a bad idea. I say, guys, this is my points. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yep.
Okay. This is what the students have to say. And this is what we're going to do if it doesn't bother you. Right. So if you're refusing, as you are at the moment, to give implicit bias training to all your members of staff, then that's absolutely fine. You can do that. And then what I can also do is launch a review on how educated your staff are on all the issues that are here. And I'm happy to publish that review. And until you show that you've changed those problems, then people will still think that your staff are causing the problem. And I'm sure there's not. I'm sure there's lovely staff out there. So I hope they stand up now as well and say, do not want to face any sort of unfair scrutiny for a lot of the hard workers. Stand up with me, staff members, and let's force the university to make a change. See, that is how you use campaigning. And you can trust someone like me who will use that. And I hope that within 3 months of the work, I will have done most of the consultation, and the rest of my time there, it will be complete tactics, which we planned out from the beginning, with your help and consultation. Basically inspiring others to inspire others. And hope you can know my DMs are always open, and that's where you should vote for me. Thank you very much, Ali.
Oh, I love it. I love the fact that it's running on trust and transparency. Those are the two T's, and Theo is the third T. I love that transparency and trust are everything that you've talked about in the 15 minutes that we've had. But no, I'm going to put the link in the description. Your profile is going to be linked on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you provide me with, and people can follow. And please vote. I know this gentleman. I vouch for him. I love him. I think he'd be a fantastic representative. And so far, he has proven me right every time I've banked on him. So please do. And Theo, best of luck. I know you have to run to another event like you're always doing. So we're going to stop here. But I hope to have you on soon where you tell me the good news. Hey, Ali, I got elected and this is what we're doing. But
It'd be an honor to come back. Win or lose. Win or lose, I'll be back.
Congratulations. Best of luck. And we're going to stop here. Stay on. I'm just going to log right off. Thanks, everyone. Go vote.